Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me on this new video series. My name is M.Refaat. I'm a trainer, teacher, and coach. My work focuses on consciousness and leading with consciousness, self-leadership, and leading others. Um, if you take a look through the channel, through the YouTube channel, and maybe other social media presences of mine, you'll notice that most of my work so far has been directed in Arabic to an Arab-speaking audience. But I felt, honestly, I felt it's a needed next step. I felt called to uh, to start sharing also in English too. And what exactly would I be sharing in this video series? It's lessons that I have learned, that I have applied, and that I teach and coach on that have to do with increasing our level of consciousness. Now, there's so many resources out there that talks about this same topic, and the topic is so rich and so needed, and uh, I believe not talked about enough. When you actually compare, it's not just about the community and the people who are interested in this, but people who actually, who've never studied anything about consciousness or awareness, or like waking up and growing up and human development of consciousness. So many people have not gotten into or learned about these disciplines and these topics. So many other people have, but again, it's so rich and complex, not complicated, but complex enough that I think there's a lot of room for so much more to be added, and for people to approach the topics from so many different directions. So what would be sharing would be, basically simple videos like this, where I could get to share with you some of my thoughts and ideas and reflections from daily life, from real life, uh, about these consciousness lessons. So a bit of the lessons, a bit of what consciousness is, all those things. How can we increase our consciousness and improve, develop our consciousness? And we are going through what I believe and others have called a consciousness revolution. So there's again so much room to talk about this and to add and to lead or push the edge of consciousness of humanity, whether and that starts, of course, with ourselves as individuals, and then the small groups we belong to, family, friends, companies, organizations, teams, and so on. So we would be talking about a variety of things that all would come back to this issue, or this theme of improving, increasing, expanding our own capacity for consciousness, and hopefully that of people around us as well. Uh, that's the introduction, maybe, to the whole video series. This is my intention. It won't be just one video. And so if you do like this video and would like to see more of it, so please don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on that bell, and hopefully also share this video and the series with others, so it can start reaching more and more people. For today, I don't want it to just be an introduction, but I thought we can talk about the idea that the world does not come with labels. The world around us, life, the universe, does not come with labels. Nothing is inherently one thing or the other. It just is. And when we do label it, good, bad, nice, better, worse, these are labels that we project on what's happening in the world, and the source of those labels. Where do they come from? They come from our level of heart. It's kind of like our energy. Now, some people might find, okay, so what's heart and energy? What does that mean? You can call it a lot of things. You can say it's my heart, it's my mood, it's my beliefs, it's my subconscious programming. So you can tackle it from from multiple angles, but it still comes back to the same thing. The label that you are experiencing from the world has been put there by you. So for a simple example, let's say I make whatever, you make a $50,000 a year. Now, if you make 100, that's definitely better. No, it's not. You see, more money is an event in life. It doesn't inherently mean better or worse. Now, I experience it as better than 50,000 because I projected that label of double the money is better. I projected it on it because now it could be, as I said, my mood, could be my history, could be my experiences, could be my subconscious programming, could be my inherent beliefs, wherever you want to say that source come from, and they're all correct because all these things I just said, maybe these kind of things we'll get a chance to expand on in later videos. All these things do play a part together to create that energy field, that level of energy from which I'm living. It actually combines into also forming the level of consciousness from which I'm living, and that creates the lens through which I'm seeing the world. That's what puts the label out there, and then it comes back to me, and I deal with the world, and I think this is how the world is. More money is better. A bad boss is bad. See, I just said a bad boss. What is a bad boss? It's a boss who does whatever. My boss is doing some things. I called it bad because according to my internal set of values, ethics, morals that come from my level of consciousness, that come from my subconscious programming, that come from all those sources, deems that behavior as bad. Some people try to challenge these kinds of ideas by going to the extreme, So if you're telling me something about the world, all I need to do is poke one hole in what you just said, and that would, bring the whole thing falling down. Now, many people would do this, in case you are one of those people, thinking that because when you start saying that the world doesn't have any labels and it doesn't come with labels, and everything we label the world with, what is beauty, what is evil, what is good, all these things have been projected from us onto the world. When you start accepting that might mean more responsibility on you. You can't be so much as a victim now. You can't say, I didn't have any control over it. Things happen to me and they're bad. Well, yeah, you might not have had control over them happening, and that's just going to open up another very big topic about control and how much control do we actually have or not have over the world around us. But let's keep that to another day. It will open you up into, okay, so I can't be a victim anymore. I can't say it happened to me. There's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing to do about my feelings. This is how I'm feeling. So some people you might find resistance to this idea, and because of all those reasons I just said, and you want to poke holes in it. So one of the easier holes to poke, but it turns out we will talk about that right now, but one of the attempts would be that let's go to the extreme. How can you say murder is not bad? How can you say child abuse is not bad? And take your pick from whatever other things that are considered evil. And there's a consensus by 7 billion people living on the planet, and the billions past and probably billions in the future. But then it becomes arguable because I just said billions in the past. There was a time, for example, that when sacrificing babies, I don't want to get too dark with this, but there was a time when that was a thing. Some cultures did it. So in itself, they projected something totally different on sacrificing or murdering a child. Even in this day and age, yes, we all deem, as I said, murder or child abuse is wrong. and bad and evil, but it's not inherently wrong or bad and evil. It's an event that we agreed on a deep fundamental level that it is evil, it is wrong. And one way to see this is if you've got a kind of like a psychopath, someone who's got internally their brain chemistry is wrong, whatever other reasons, is making their inner world very different and very extreme than most other people, they would see the same event with a different label. Now, you would say, yeah, it's because they're messed up. Yeah, maybe. But that doesn't change the fact that the event itself didn't come with its inherent label, its inherent judgment or verdict. That, because if it does, then it should affect everyone equally. It should affect everyone equally. Another argument to that might be, yeah, everything comes with its label, but some people are able to see the reality of things and some other people are unable to see it. So out there in the world, everything has its label. Some people, if they're sick, for example, they're unable to see that and perceive it, and that's what stops them and messes them up. Everybody else sees things as they are. You could go with that argument in some of those extreme cases. But here's the rabbit hole down which, or the slippery slope you're allowing yourself to get into, that you've now felt that you successfully poked a hole in this idea that the world doesn't come with labels, and which, so it means the other way around, the world does come with labels. Some people are able to see those labels clearly, and some people are not able to see those labels clearly. Now, here's the point. What you just did now is you are going to, without noticing, you're going to experience so many things in the world, and every time you project a label or a verdict or a judgment on those events, onto those events, and then it comes back to you and you experience it, you will always tell yourself, those were the inherent characteristics, the inherent being, the inherent thing about that event, and I'm just aware enough, I'm conscious enough to see it for what it is. Everybody else who objects to me or experiences something different just doesn't see what I see. What you just did is locked yourself in a very narrow view of the world, and now you gave yourself permission to dismiss everything else everybody else says as they can't see. They're kind of like the sick psychopath who can't see what that murder is bad or that child abuse is bad, and I'm the one who's aware and awake. Now, as you can see, that's the problem with that kind of argument, that everything is inherent, it's just the healthy ones who can see it, so everything I see is true because I'm the healthy one, everybody else isn't. The better, and actually a little more closer to what the reality of the world is, or how the world is that it doesn't have labels, that even the most extreme vile things are extreme and vile because we see them as extreme and vile. And that doesn't mean we shouldn't see them as extreme and vile. It just means let's notice and agree that when we say these things are evil, it's because on a fundamental level, we, individuals and a collective, have felt and sensed and deemed them evil, bad, harmful, vile. But that judgment is still a projection. It's a projection on a more fundamental level that has to do with survival instincts, that has to do with a collective agreement of a collective culture or group, in this case, all of humanity. Yes, but it's still a projection. Why? Why is it important to pin that point? So that every time you have an experience where so many other people are having a different experience, so many other people are seeing a different label, you allow yourself, okay, so since every label is me projecting that label, then maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe I can change it. Maybe if I don't like the experience I'm having, I don't need to change the event. I just need to change the label I put on it out there. The things that are so extreme that all of humanity have agreed on what the label we will collectively project onto those things will be, fine. You're not going to find many people disagreeing to your label that murder, evil, murder is not good, evil, whatever that is not good, and child abuse is not good. You're not going to find many people to disagree with you on that. It's a label we all projected, but it's catching on. Everybody agrees to that. Well, again, or to wrap up, sorry. Once you accept that, now when you find so many other people disagreeing with the label you've projected on an event in life, and when you find yourself not enjoying and not having the experience you want, you know, what I'm experiencing is the reflection back of the label I already projected to begin with. So it went in a circle and it was back to me. There is something I can do about it. Events in the world inherently don't come with their own labels. I hope you liked the video. I hope you found the topic interesting, enlightening, maybe it will thought-provoking. But let me know what you think. Let's discuss further. If you have anything to also things to add in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on that bell if you like this video and would like to see more of it, and more of it will be coming, inshallah. And share it around also. And if you didn't like it, let me know why. Give me feedback, and I hope to, always present you with useful videos, ideas, topics, and thank you very much, and I'll see you again in the next video very soon. Bye.